hot kind of weather. I get to wear scarves. I still gotta tuck my hair because my car's pulling it out. Autumn allergies, check. Oh my god. Really? Do you ever see those old people who are just like snot comes right out their nose, like they don't even know it's coming? I feel like I'm one of those anymore. Like I'm wondering, like, is lines of snot coming out my nose from these goddamn allergies? Why? Guys, hi, good morning. I'm on my way to work. It is cloudy as hell out and a little chilly, and it's, what is it, the first day? Second day of fall. Third day of fall. Second day of fall. I don't know what day. It's just around, it just became fall. And so I am, oh my god. So I had an OBE last night that was crazy. It was a little scary too, but scary in like one of those ways where like you can't get out of something. Do you know what I mean? Like you like, I'm sure you had a dream where you're like stuck and you're like trying to run and maybe your feet are under the covers and they can't run or whatever it is. Okay, so yeah, one like that, only it starts out, I was listening to a book. I wasn't even listening to one of my things to make me go out of body, but earlier that day I felt like I was going to go out of body. It's really weird because you almost get a warning. Of course, I've been looking for signs. I don't even want to say anything because every time I try to tell people, because I did that spell that was like 30 days, it's like a moon phase, and you had to look for signs, right? Well, some people, like it was about abundance and prosperity, but like for me, what's prosperous and abundance might not be the same thing for like what you want out of life, you know what I mean? So anyway, I did that spell, and every time I try to talk about the signs I'm seeing, something happens and my camera shuts off. So I'm not going to talk about it because it's just, the universe is telling me don't say anything, so I'm not saying anything anyway. Because you could have used that spell for like money or this, whatever you wanted. I did not use it for money, even though I set it up so it looked like that. I didn't. Actually, when I meditated ahead of time, it was for something else. But you can use that spell for anything. But anyway, I'm looking for signs. And so I get this, so all that being said, like one of the signs I was feeling yesterday was that I was going to go out of body. And I don't know what it is about going out of body that happens to me, that I know or that I feel like it's on its way. Like I'm gonna travel tonight, or I'm gonna travel soon. But I do get that. And so I had that yesterday, where like that little like kind of like calling, maybe? Is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word, calling. It's like, okay, it feels like all of a sudden, okay, so it feels like you have sunglasses on, like all the time, and somebody lifted off the sunglasses and you can just see a little more of what's coming your way. That's more what it feels like when I like know I'm gonna travel. Like, oh, like something lifts away from my eyes and I'm like, okay, I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna see something. I'm gonna experience something more than what I am right now. So, anyway, so I was listening to a book on CD, right? You know, a book on tape, whatever. It was a book on my phone. So I get the pull from, so I just go with it. So I sit up in my bed, and it was one of those moments where I'm like, am I out of body? Am I out of body? And I hear tapping on the window, on my bedroom window. So I just have these little flouncy, like white curtains on my bedroom window. So I pull back the curtain, and there's a little boy standing there. He's got to be about 10. And he's got curly, like frizzy, curly blonde hair. And he's in a red t-shirt. And he's got freckles. Looks like he was a bit sunburned. And there were two other boys behind him, but I couldn't see. Maybe 10 years old. And and he had like a round ball in his hand, and he banged, banged, banged on the screen. So I said, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "You'll see, you need to come out here." But it was not nice, it wasn't happy. And I was like, "I'm not coming out there." And he says, "That's all right, we're coming in." And I was like, "Oh shit." And it was like, okay, so when I laid on the bed, it was dark out. And now when the kid was tapping on the window and all, it was still dark, but it almost changed to dusk dark, where I could still see things. You know, I couldn't, when I was first, had I looked out the window prior to getting out of body, it would have been pitch black unless the motion lights came on. But when I looked out the window, it was like dusk. I could see that the sun had gone down, but not all the way. I could see like outlines in the I could like still see the trees and stuff, just the outline of it. So he says, "We're coming, doesn't matter, we're coming in," basically. And I was like, okay. And all of a sudden, my front door is like, bam, 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 bam. So I get up from the window and I walk out to the front, and I have a glass thing in the way. And I look out, and what looks like his father, maybe, blonde, curly hair, but much older, obviously. Tall guy, maybe 6'3", 6'4", and he has a package in his hand, and he's banging, and I can look out to the front of my house, like to the walkway and everything to my house, and he is pulled up in this weird truck, like this truck. I'd never seen this kind of truck before, but it made perfect sense at the same time. It was really strange. I'm gonna try and like draw how the truck was. It was just a strange vehicle, but a vehicle nonetheless. He pulls up, and the vehicle has a symbol on the side. I'm also gonna draw for you. And there's a symbol on the side, and he has a package, and the package looks like it has the same symbol on it, although his arm was in the way. I could still see it. And he's like, there's like a symbol, or not a symbol, just like a logo on the truck, on the package he has. And the guy's like wearing like a blackish navy looking uniform, but he means business. He's not being nice. So he's like, bam, 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 bam. So I said, "Stop banging on the door. I'm not coming out." He says, "Oh, you'll come out." And I'm like, "What is this?" And he said, "I've got a delivery." And I'm like, no. This is more than a delivery, because you're being like kind of threatening. I hear my fucking window break in the bedroom. And I'm like, what the hell? So I run from the front door, which is locked. You know, I have all the locks on it. I run from the front door back to the bedroom window, and the kids are trying to break in. They've like cracked the window, they've taken out the screen, but they're too short because it comes up to like their head. But without like a step stool or a ladder or something, they couldn't get in. They would have to drag themselves up, and they wouldn't. I don't see them being able to do it, but I could not see the other two figures that was behind the one boy with the curly round head. So I'm like, okay, get away from my house now. And next to my bed was a Diet Coke, believe it or not. So I shook up the Diet Coke, and I thought, open the window, it'll turn on the alarms, because, you know, they had cracked my window, but they didn't open it. And if you open it, it'll turn on the alarm. If you cross a certain place, it'll turn on the alarm. So I'm like, all right, just turn, do this to turn on the alarm. So I have a soda, and I shake it up, and they're like, "What are you gonna do?" Like real childlike, well, they're children. And they're like laughing and going like out of sight, and then coming back, and all this crazy stuff. And they're like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to us? You going to throw a bottle at us? All this stuff. So I was like, no. And I took the soda bottle I had shaken and I just like let it go and it splashed the kid in the face, right? And so he like starts taking off across the neighbor's yard. And here comes Daddy. And I mean, this guy is like, I really want to draw him as well. He had like a beaky looking face, like a beak. Like his nose, he was like real flat-headed and like a nose. It almost looked like his head was too small or something. And so as I do this and the kid goes flying into the yard and the other kids are with him and they stop laughing, they're like, oh my God, blah, and the father comes around, he reaches in to grab me. And I like back away right as his arm comes in. Only his arm is abnormally large. Like, when I tell you, it was very strange. So I back up, but now my windows are open. The alarms are going off. And I say to him, cops are going to be here any minute. You need to go. And he looks at the kid on the lawn, but it's like so dark I can't see what the kid on the lawn's doing. But he looks at the kid on the lawn, and then he runs back around the front of the house, I would imagine, to get into that truck thing, or whatever it was, that vehicle, and like leave the scene. And the kid comes like after he ran, there was like other people that I couldn't see, like other than their outlines. And after he like ran around to go to the front of the house, the kid I sprayed with the soda bottle, he goes to run around. I'm like looking out my window. He goes to run around the side of the house. He stops. He like wipes his face off, stops, looks at me and goes, we're coming back. You will let us in. I said, no, I won't. And I said, yes, you will. And then he took off to the front of the house. So then I made sure nobody was inside the house for a second. And then I ran back around just in time to see the end of the vehicle, like, take off down the street. And I was like, what the fuck was that? That was the end of my OBE. So it was a little creepy, a little scary. But I wasn't, like, scared for my life. But I did feel like they wanted to... another Mini Cooper Countryman. I did feel... Hold on. I did feel like they meant me some sort of harm. I don't know. But anyway, that was the end of my OBE last night. I'm here at work. I gotta go. But tell me what you think.